Before we switch to timers, the central topic of this chapter, I want to introduce clocks because they're extremely related to each other. So what is a clock? The clock is the heartbeat of a digital system. Everything happening inside the microcontroller is synchronized by the help of the clock. So first of all, you have code execution. You have data buses, moving data from one place to another. Also, configuring registers, like configuring peripherals. Okay, everything is synchronized with the help of the clock. So the clock is a physical oscillator. So it can be ceramic resonator or quartz crystal, or it could be simple RC circuit that generates a stream of pulses at a constant frequency. So if we have a clock running at 10 megahertz, okay, it has to be capital, 10 megahertz, it means that it generates 10 million pulses per second. So if we have a digital system running at 10 megahertz, it can execute 10 million instructions per second. Okay, so higher the greater the clock frequency, greater the computational power of the system, but at a cost of the power consumption. Okay, so frequency, if it's greater, if it goes up, the computational power goes up as well. So it can execute more instruction per unit of time, but the consumption also will go up accordingly. Quick note: this is part of my full STM32 course. The complete course with the full documentation is on stepschool.com. Link below. Next important thing, let's look at the clock tree of the STM32 microcontroller. So the important things I need to introduce. First, the important thing to note that the microcontroller has its internal clock. So if you consider this is the body of the MCU, we have internal clock, and it is about all STM32 microcontrollers. But you have an option to connect external clock. But why do we need that if we have internal? The problem with internal that its precision is not great. If it says 16 megahertz, usually the real frequency could be 16.001 megahertz, okay, or it could be slightly less, like 15.999 megahertz. But if you have applications that require high timing precision, like USB, where you have CAN, you need external clock that can provide really high precision. The next important thing is that we have PLL. Okay, just over here, phase locked loop. What it does is that it can increase the frequency. So if we have 16 megahertz as an input to the PLL, the output could be, the output depends on those numbers. So here we divide by 16, it multiplies 336. You divide by 4, you get 84 megahertz. Okay. Or any other value depending on those numbers. And also we have multiplexers. So for example, here we are saying that the internal clock is an input to the PLL, not the external, because we don't have the external clock here. And then also we have this main multiplexer to decide the system clock. So in our case, we have this blue dot, as you see in the PLL. So the clock, the main clock, is sourced from the PLL. So we have 84 megahertz. And another important thing is that we have this number defining the maximum frequency. So of course, in every digital system, you have the limitation. It cannot go to the infinity, like it cannot go to the 1 gigahertz. So the limitation microcontroller, 84 megahertz. And when you open the Cubimix, you just play with these numbers to configure the clock tree. Then this system clock also branches to all peripherals. Okay, so we have APB1 peripheral clocks running at 42. We have APB2 peripheral. So everything happening, even GPIO, external interrupts, timers, everything is controlled by the clock of the system. Okay, this is the important thing to understand.